Happy holidays, everybody. It's Bob Phillips with Common Cause North Carolina, and I'm standing in front of the historic Raleigh Memorial Auditorium, which is nicely lit up for this holiday season. This year, we've been celebrating our 50th anniversary. It was way back in 1973 when a group of forward-thinking citizens helped create one of the first Common Cause chapters in America with an idea of creating a better democracy for all of us. And in this year, as we have been defending voting rights and fighting gerrymandering and holding politicians accountable, certainly our work that we do now is as important today as it was back when Common Cause North Carolina was formed 50 years ago. And with that in mind, let's take a look back at the year that was as we look forward to serving this state for the next 50 years.
It takes all of us, everyone who is out here today, working together, fighting together, because when we do, we are a force that cannot be stopped.
That's right.
As we begin the new year, we were just a few weeks removed from oral arguments at the U.S. Supreme Court in our case of Moore v. Harper. We and our partners went to the High Court to stand up against a radical power grab by extremist politicians that wanted to seize control of our congressional elections in North Carolina. That case would prove to be one of the most important in our nation's history, with a pivotal ruling that would come in the summer of 2023. As the 2023 state legislative session kicked off in Raleigh, our team was there working to ensure everyday North Carolinians have a voice inside the halls of government. Joining us at the legislature were student leaders from North Carolina's historically black colleges and universities who came to Raleigh as part of our HBCU Lobby Day. These outstanding students advocated for their campus communities, meeting directly with lawmakers and speaking to the Capitol Press Corps about the importance of HBCUs in North Carolina.
North Carolina educates more HBCU students than any other state in the United States. During the Civil Rights Movement, students at HBCUs were the front line in the war for voter equality. We have a duty to continue to hold power accountable. That's why we are here today. This is the next step in protecting democracy and uplifting the deep need for voter equality in North Carolina.
In March, a new Republican majority on the North Carolina State Supreme Court radically broke legal norms and undermined settled law by agreeing with the demand by Republican legislators to rehear our 2022 court victory against partisan gerrymandering. We and our pro-democracy partners organized a people's rally at the Capitol the day the court reheard the case, with North Carolinians from across the state speaking up for our freedom to vote. But if gerrymandering is illegal, history will judge those who make that decision, and those pushing for it will pay a political price with we, the people of North Carolina. Thank you. Outrageously, the new Republican majority on the state Supreme Court would ignore our constitutional protections and overturn the ban on partisan gerrymandering. It was one of the most disgraceful court rulings in North Carolina's history, and it opened the door for politicians in the legislature to manipulate our voting maps once again. But we and our pro-democracy allies made it clear that we would not be silent. We would continue the fight for fair voting maps and work to defeat gerrymandering.
Keep going.
As spring arrived, our Common Cause Democracy Fellows organized a nonpartisan town hall at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, with students, faculty, and advocates discussing ways to boost voter turnout among young people.
I feel like if students know more about the issues that are going on within their community, they're more likely to take action.
These are 5 things you need to know this week about North Carolina politics.
And as the state legislative session revved up in Raleigh, we launched our new 5 Things to Know weekly video series hosted by Ann Webb, Policy Director with Common Cause North Carolina, breaking down key issues in state politics. Meanwhile, we joined other democracy advocates in calling for a better way to draw our state's voting maps by creating an independent Citizens Redistricting Commission.
North Carolinians must come together across political party, racial, and ideological lines to organize a movement to end gerrymandering. In a true representative democracy, voters should have the power, not politicians.
As summer arrived, the Republican-controlled legislature launched yet another attack on our rights, introducing two anti-voter bills. Senate Bill 747 would harm North Carolinians who rely on absentee voting by mail and those who utilize same-day voter registration. Senate Bill 749 would impose radical changes to our election boards, opening the door to dangerous partisan gridlock that could unleash chaos in our elections and threaten to gut early voting. We and our pro-democracy partners spoke out against these attacks on our freedom to vote.
Both changes will bind elections in ways that are costly for counties, chaotic for voters, and calamitous for our elections.
Republican lawmakers pushed through an anti-voter Senate Bill 747 and Senate Bill 749 over the veto by Governor Roy Cooper. And despite thousands of North Carolinians speaking out against these harmful proposals, both bills are now being challenged in court. At the end of June came good news from the U.S. Supreme Court. We won our case of Moore v. Harper, defeating a radical power grab by politicians who had tried to seize control over congressional elections in our state. The ruling in Moore v. Harper was a true win for the people of North Carolina and for the people across the nation, as the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed the importance of checks and balances. But even with this great news, we knew our fight to protect democracy against ongoing attacks by extremist politicians would continue here in North Carolina, and we would be ready for it. As July got underway, we kicked off our Unite NC Town Hall Tour with our initial event in Mecklenburg County. The tour then went across the state, with people turning out and speaking up on issues that matter most to their communities, as together we work to hold lawmakers accountable to the public.
We are here to unite North Carolina because we believe, and I hope you believe too, that it is the people in this room who, like time and time before, have stood up, taken notice of what happened in this state, united together, and fought back.
In all, more than 2,000 people would attend our Unite NC Town Hall Tour in 25 towns and cities over the next 4 months as we continue to build a grassroots pro-democracy movement that will carry on in the year ahead.
Who is the future of North Carolina? We are the future of North Carolina.
We are here at the 9th annual HBCU think tank organized between Common Cause North Carolina and North Carolina Black Alliance. Our theme for the year is Our Turn, the Story Continues.
As the new semester got underway in August, we convened our HBCU think tank with student leaders from historically black colleges and universities across the state coming to Greensboro to network and develop ways to strengthen civic participation and voter engagement in their campus communities.
More than anything, we need change makers and we need forward thinkers. So that's why we need you, we need your help, we need your involvement, and bring others along to make the change too.
5 months after the new Republican majority on the state Supreme Court outrageously agreed to let Republican legislators draw new voting maps, those legislative leaders got around to half-heartedly holding a handful of public hearings on redistricting. In all, Republican legislative leaders held just 3 public hearings, a fraction of those held in past redistricting cycles, and in areas that made attendance nearly impossible for millions of North Carolinians. The fact is, this year's redistricting process was an absolute insult to the people of North Carolina. Politicians drew new districts in secret, rejecting calls for transparency and ignoring demands from the public for fair voting maps free from gerrymandering.
The legislators who drew these districts explicitly chose to disregard the desires of North Carolinians in an effort to protect their power. This is outrageous and unacceptable. It is the antithesis of what a representative democracy is all about.
Republican legislators imposed extreme gerrymanders that undermine the rights of voters and especially violate the freedoms of black North Carolinians. But we would not give up. Our fight against gerrymandering would continue. More on that in a moment. As fall arrives, so did the local election season for many towns and cities across North Carolina. Our team produced nonpartisan voter guides featuring profiles on candidates running for offices. To help voters get informed and engaged for 2023 and beyond, we launched our Unite NC Ready to Vote Community Education Tour. We also help protect the vote, and we encourage participation at the polls among HBCU students.
Hi everyone, my name is Angel. I am a freshman political science major at North Carolina Central University and an HBCU Action Fellow for Common Cause North Carolina, and today we'll be hosting our Swords to Polls event where we lead students at North Carolina Central to go cast votes for the November municipal election.
As 2023 drew to a close, our work wasn't finished. We at Common Cause joined a group of North Carolina voters along with the NAACP of North Carolina and the Southern Coalition for Social Justice in filing a federal lawsuit challenging the legislature's racial gerrymandering that illegally undermined the voting rights of Black North Carolinians.
We want every vote of every person, which includes myself in this state, to count. We are thankful to the Southern Coalition for Social Justice, our General Counsel, and all Common Cause and other partners who are supportive in the fact that every vote should be equally weighted and not determined just because of your color within this state or any state within this country.
So our battle to defeat gerrymandering will continue in the year ahead, and in 2024 we will of course be working hard to mobilize voters to exercise their constitutional right in rural areas, in small towns and communities, in big cities, and on college campuses again across the state. We can't thank you enough for helping us in this very crucial year of working to build a better democracy for all of North Carolina. And here's to another 50 years ahead of Common Cause serving the people of this state. On behalf of the entire Common Cause team, I'm Bob Phillips, wishing you a very, very happy new year.